Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time here, hi, my name is Dana. I upload new videos at least once a week, and we are in the new year. I'm hoping to be uploading more frequently, more consistently throughout the new year, but you can always count on at least one a week from me. Also, if you're new to the tea journey, I wrote an ebook all about the basics of tea, so if you are looking to get a little more information so you can go into tea stores with confidence and start exploring and going on your tea journey, I'll leave that linked below because I think it might help. But for today, for my first tea review of the new decade, I am going to be trying Plum Deluxe's Fireside Chat black tea. Okay, so before we do anything else, we will get our tea steeping. I find with a lot of these teas from Plum Deluxe, it looks like there's sort of like, if I took a scoop from right here, it would be like all rooibos. And if I took a scoop from here, it would be like all the other stuff. So I gotta make sure I kind of combine it before I shake it, because I feel like it's sort of the smaller pieces a lot of the time settle on the bottom. So I'll just make sure I get a good diverse scoop and that it's not all just one ingredient or the other. All right, now we can set this to the side and let it steep while we check out the loose tea. So let's read that description and those ingredients. As always, they have this nice big Plum Deluxe logo that says always fresh and thoughtfully sourced. And it says Fireside Chat black tea, sip a smoky bonfire of goodness. And the ingredients are black tea, rooibos tea, cinnamon, ginger, cocoa nibs, safflower, calendula, vanilla, walnut, and chocolate essences, love and gratitude. They always include love and gratitude, which I think is so cute. I love just like the cozy feeling behind Plum Deluxe's brand. So I was really interested in this tea because when I worked at David's Tea, I had just discovered Lapsang Souchong, which is a really strongly smoked black tea. It has a really just heavily smoky flavor. I liked the smokiness, but it was so strong. It's like a bonfire in a tea. So it was just a little bit too strong for me to drink on a regular basis. I found that it was really nice for mixing with things, like if you mixed that with the maple flavored tea that we had called Oh Canada. And if you mix that with Lapsang, it tasted like maple bacon. Like it was that strong in smoky flavor that it almost tasted like bacon in tea form, like just like a bonfire as a tea. So when I saw this one, Fireside Chat, on Plum Deluxe's website and saw that it says sip a smoky bonfire of goodness, like that bonfire kind of vibe, I liked, but I wished it was more balanced in just like a traditional Lapsang. So I'm kind of hoping that this is sort of a kind of a balanced approach to that kind of smokiness in a tea. I definitely smell it. I definitely smell that smokiness. It definitely smells like a fall tea too, so maybe it's kind of weird to start the year out with something like this. But it smells really good. It has a nice sweetness in it, like almost like a maple sort of thing going on, but also that really nice kick of smokiness. So let's check it out in the spoon, and then I'll put it on a plate so we can see it all spread out. But I feel like Plum Deluxe does this a lot where they combine rooibos with the actual tea leaves. So there's a little bit of both, and this one is pretty heavy on the rooibos, but it is the second ingredient after the black tea. So here it is in the spoon. And then let's pour it out onto a plate so we can really see all of those pieces. So here's how it looks. I'm really enjoying the smell so far. It definitely has the smokiness, but a nice sweetness to balance it out. It doesn't smell super chocolatey to me, but I do get like a caramely, like candy store sort of note. And I really like it. It almost smells like, not really like a candy store. It kind of smells like a spice shop. Like if you've ever been into just like a cute little spice store, like those family-owned stores that sell like spices and tea and things like that. It has that smell where it's like a combination of things, you know, like all the spices sort of come together. It kind of smells like that. Like, it kind of smells like that, but also a little like a candy store. All right, so let's see what we can see in the mix here. So there's these little guys. I think these must be pieces of cinnamon. They're kind of nice chunks. And I definitely do see the safflower because it's those like red pieces that are in there, which is cool because it adds to that like fireside, like bonfire sort of vibe, because it's adding like a red color to the tea and it looks kind of fiery and cool. As far as the ginger, oh, I do see the ginger. I see a couple nice pieces, which you know I'm always looking for that ginger. The cocoa nibs, I gotta kind of search through and see if I could see any of those because I don't think I see them as of right now. Let me pour out a little bit more. I definitely like smell it. I smell like the sweet vibe, but I guess, you know what? I don't really smell anything so chocolatey. And I can't really spot the cocoa nibs, but also another thing I notice a lot with Plum Deluxe is they seem to add like floral elements like calendula and safflower to a lot of their teas, especially a lot of their spiced teas. So I don't know if they like to use those floral type notes to kind of balance out spices, or maybe in this case to balance out that smoky flavor. So I'm intrigued about that. I think a good next step is to go on their website and see if they have any additional information about this tea. It always seems like tea companies include more of like a detailed description and some more like extra tidbits on their websites than they do on the packaging because it is such like limited little space. Fireside Chat, smoky with chocolate and walnut is what it says. In the title of it, like it'll say the name of the tea, but then it kind of has this short little description here. Sometimes I get a little confused because sometimes it's almost like it has a whole second name, but in this case it's kind of like a little description. So that's nice if you're kind of shopping for tea and you see these names that are like Fireside Chat black tea, like you wouldn't really know anything about it except that it's a black tea. So it is kind of cool that they have a little tidbit up by the title. And it looks exactly the same, I'd say, in person as it does in the photo. I like that. So it says, if you haven't had a smoky tea, then you're missing out on a unique experience. We've combined a smoked black tea with hints of walnut, chocolate, and vanilla. Sometimes smoked teas can be quite forward. We've taken a more balanced approach, but this tea is still smoky. Consider quality time by the fire, sharing good stories as the perfect activity or mindset when sipping this tea. That's cool. So I think probably the black tea that's in this is like a Lapsang. So Lapsang is traditionally smoked over pine needles. So that's how they get that nice smoky taste and smell to it, because they have like the pine needles burning and above it is the tea. So it just goes into the tea. There was a guy who came in when I worked at David's Tea who heard about the benefits of charcoal, and he was looking for a tea that included charcoal, and we didn't have anything like that. I'm not sure anything like that exists, but I was thinking flavor-wise, Lapsang has that smoked flavor like a charcoal would have, or that the smell of burning charcoal has. So I showed him it and he was so adamant, like, this is charcoal, there's charcoal in this. And I'm like, no. I don't remember if he ended up buying it or not, but that's how strong and smoky a straight Lapsang Souchong tastes, where it's just so like charcoaly, like the smell of like a grill basically, you know? So this definitely has that undertone and has that vibe, but balanced with other things. Tea maker's notes. So this is from Andy. He is like the founder of Plum Deluxe and like the tea master. This is what he looks like, in case you were wondering. But so his note says, smoky teas generally aren't my favorite, but our team worked together to craft this gently smoked blend with delicious hints of chocolate and nut. It's very comforting. Okay, cool. So Andy doesn't traditionally like he would not be one to drink Lapsang. And you know, I'm not either. I like the concept, I like it, but it's just too much. So his team developed this to be a little more balanced, but still have that smoky, comforting kind of vibe. So I'm really excited to taste this and see what it's like. It smells really nice. I do wish, you know, I always wish there was even more information, like kind of put the pieces together myself, but I always wonder like why they chose every ingredient. Like, I wonder if there will ever be a tea company I find that's like as detailed as I hope they would be about their blends and ingredients. But you know, I could imagine, like, I was like, oh, they put rooibos in a lot of teas, like a lot of black teas, green teas, like it seems like they combine rooibos a lot. But in this case, it does make sense to me, because if Andy himself is not the biggest fan of a smoked tea, adding the rooibos might help like cut some of that smokiness if this is like a strong Lapsang black tea. So that does make sense to me. And I just feel like those notes, like the spiced notes and the chocolatey notes, will pair really nicely with kind of a smoked flavor. All right, so let's go ahead and finally remove that infuser and give it a try, see how it tastes. I definitely still smell the smokiness, but I also smell like that regular black tea smell. So I smell both. Like the smokiness is not as overpowering as it is in a straight Lapsang. So, oh, I'm so excited. Let's go ahead and give it a try. It's really nice. It's not super smoky. It's very subtly smoky. Yeah, if I tried this, I don't think I would realize that it's meant to be like a smoky black tea. I think I would just be like, what's that undertone? You know, like it has a smoky undertone and a little bit of a smokier aftertaste, but I definitely taste the black tea, which is really nice. Yeah, everything is pretty subtle in it, honestly. It's like the spices are subtle. I don't really taste chocolate. I taste like a smoky, mellow kind of black tea. There is a nice hint of sweetness and almost like the floral little undertone kind of note. I feel like I'm saying undertone a lot, but it's like this tea is pretty like complex. Like I feel like there's a lot of subtle notes and not so much like in your face stuff. So if you're a fan of straight black teas, but you want to kind of change it up a little, I think you'd like this one. It's definitely not as intensely smoky as I expected. I did expect, I guess, a little more of that because I had tried Lapsang before. This definitely is kind of like fireside chat. Like I could picture this as like you have a fire going, it's cozy, like Christmas time maybe, even though we're a little after Christmas now. I think like as far as the chocolate walnut sort of thing, there is definitely a walnut vibe, but the chocolate I'd say not so much. When I smelled the loose tea, I got almost like a maple kind of vibe, but I don't get that in the sip. Yeah, I'd say it's like a walnut black tea with a smoky note to it. This is really awesome. I'm not sure how it would be if you tried it as a latte though. I feel like it might be weird, like a smoked, like milky texture and flavor. I feel like might be a little weird, but also it does have some kind of chai vibes, so it might be good. That would be something interesting to try. I really like how subtle it is. I really do. I like that the smokiness doesn't overpower everything else. Everything works together really nicely. Like it's nothing crazy, it's nothing over the top, like it's not as unique as I imagined it would be, but I'm not mad about it. I really like this tea. As far as buying it again, since I'm not the biggest fan of black teas, I don't think I would buy it again per se, but I know I'll drink through it. But I do really think it's like a pretty masterfully blended tea. Because I was just thinking to myself, like, oh, they could have like added black pepper and they could have like added some more spice notes. But honestly, like, I feel like there was a reason for not doing that. You know, I feel like the smokiness is sort of, like the black smoked tea is sort of the star in this tea. And everything else just kind of supports that feeling of like coziness and like having a chat by the fire. You know, I feel like it all just supports the smoked black tea, and that's really cool for the actual tea leaves to be really the star ingredient. Like, it's not meant to taste like anything different than what it is. It's just that nice smoked black tea. So overall, I'd say I like this one. I think Plum Deluxe did a good one with this. I tried that one right before the holidays as my last like Christmas tea of the year. It was their sugar plum black tea. And I just loved it. Like, the combination of cardamom with the plum essence and everything was so good. And like, the more I try from them, the more I'm like impressed. It just, you could really tell that they really took a lot of time and thought and probably trial and error into making these really well-balanced, awesome tea blends. So I gotta do a hats off to Andy one more time because this is a really good tea. And I have a whole handful more of Plum Deluxe to try from my last order. So I can't wait. If you guys don't know, I am an ambassador for Plum Deluxe. So every time you guys click my Plum Deluxe link in my description box and buy tea through my link, I do end up getting a little bit of commission to spend on my next tea haul. So I really appreciate any time you guys check them out. I only ever like, you know, give honest opinions. So if this sounds like something you'd like, the link will always be there. Otherwise, no worries. They have so many awesome tea blends to check out though, and I've just been really enjoying getting to know more of their tea. I hope you guys are having an amazing start to your new year. I can't believe it's 2020. And I hope you're having a beautiful day, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks for watching.